Hey guys, I want to first thank you so much for being here with me. It really means a lot to me as I'm going through this journey, this vulnerability experiment. It's been a challenge for me, but I think there's going to be a lot of amazing things that are going to come from this after I get it completed. That is telling my story, sharing my story with the world, and me being open and vulnerable with everybody. I hope it can inspire you and some of the other people around you in your world. Well, just to recap a little bit, the past episodes. If you want to watch the past episodes, you can go to my new YouTube channel. Episode 1 was the plane crash. Episode 2 was waking up from a 1-month coma and discovering my mom died. Episode 3 was rehabilitation. Episode 4 was discovering my disability. And episode 5 was having anxiety and discovering that I have back problems. So now we're moving on to episode 6. All right. So I was going into my high school year as a senior. Does that make sense? My senior year of high school, and I was really nervous. I was a wreck because I had back problems and I couldn't walk straight. This had been going on for 3 years, and I was embarrassed and I didn't want to be seen or talk to anybody. This was it was really hard because high school, everybody judges you, and it's just really, really tough. So basically what happened was my grandma, as I was going into my high school year as a senior, she sent me a book. It was called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. And I was like, all right, okay, I didn't like to read very much, but I decided to give this one a shot. So I opened it up and I started reading it. And it really grabbed my attention because I felt like it was really relatable to what I was going through, because I was experiencing all these negative thoughts about myself and how people thought of, or how people viewed me. For example, one thing it talked about that I really resonated with was being proactive. I learned that you have to go for what you want. You can't just sit back and let life happen to you, or else you're gonna get run over. It's a mess, because by being proactive, you can actually make your life the way you want it, and you can actually test things out and actually, if you want to be successful, you have to be proactive. So basically what I did was I learned that most people actually in high school want to be talked to. Most people want to be sit. Most people want to get to know you. Or for instance, in this case, it would be like, I remember just reading this part in the book, and it was like, just go up to people and just say, hey, how's it going? And just see what happens. And so that's one of the things I decided to do. I just decided to everybody I saw in front of me as I was walking along high school with my limp and looking however I looked, with anybody with all these thoughts inside my head of how people were judging me or whatever, I didn't care. I decided to just go up to every single person I saw, just say, hey, how's it going? And see if a conversation started. If not, cool. If so, yes, cool too. So I decided to do that, and I would say it to all the gothic people, all the preppy people, all the jocks, all the the nerds, the drama people, everybody. I would just say, hey, how's it going? And smile. And miraculously, I ended up making a ton of friends. And one of the other things in the book that I wanted to mention was paradigms, because I had to really shift my paradigms from previously. It was basically like, oh, I'm so ugly. Some of the other paradigms I had in my head at that time was like, I'm so stupid. Nobody likes me. Why would I'm not good enough. That was a big one, that I'm not good enough. But then I had to shift my paradigms. I basically had to challenge my paradigms. I had to say, hey, is this true? Or is this not true? Let's go find it out. Let's be proactive and find out if this paradigm is actually true or not. So I challenged it, and one of the ways I did that, like I just said, was by going up to people and saying, "Hey, how's it going?" And it turned out that people actually did like me, and were curious about me. It didn't really know about me, and it didn't really talk to me, because I don't know why they didn't talk to me, but I was the one that initiated conversation and decided to initiate conversation, and from that point on, my life changed. I saw that people were actually friendly, and people did actually want to talk to me. People do actually have compassion for other people. So I thought that was awesome. And obviously after one cool thing is that I made a ton of friends my senior year, and I even went to prom too. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then, of course, after that, I went into college, and that was brand new. I was very nervous about going into college, because it's like meeting everyone brand new, and basically I'd have to share my story all over again. Like, for people who ask, I'd have to tell them I was in a plane crash and why I have a disability, and I really hated that. I didn't want anybody I didn't want to talk to anybody or let them know that I was in a plane crash, because I was always so embarrassed about it. I was just like, I hated telling the story. And it was really, really tough. I didn't like it. Anyway, so I was on a mission. I was really depressed, but at the same time, I was like, I have to heal my back. I have to get it better, because this back pain is causing me so much pain, and it's so embarrassing, and I hate it, and I'm so young, and I just don't want to have this back problem anymore. It was horrible. I hated it. So then I learned, of course, the last year about how I got to be proactive. So I of course, looked on the internet, and I researched how I could heal back pain, how I could cure scoliosis, different exercises I could do. And I couldn't really find too much, because it was all mixed up all over the internet, all kinds of different data everywhere. So I decided to start talking to people. I was going to physical therapists, because my dad and I would go to physical therapists all throughout the state of California, and nothing really worked with that. And doctors said I had to have surgery if I ever wanted to get better. And I did not want to have surgery, because I've heard a lot of bad things about back surgery, and I didn't want to have back surgery. So the funny thing is, I started working out at the gym, and then I went to a place called Max Muscle, and I told him 100% all about my history and my plane crash I was in, and the back pain I had, and if there was a way that the guy in Max Muscle thought that if there was any ways that I could heal my back, and not limp so much, and just walk pain-free possibly, or stop the shakes that were happening in the lower left side of my back, because it was always shaking spontaneously. So the guy said, "Hey man, just try this for 3 months. Try doing it twice a day. I want you to do squats and lunges and planks. Tell me what happens in 3 months." So I'm like, "Oh shoot, fuck it. I'll just do it. All right, why not?" Okay, so at this point I was really depressed, but I decided to do it. And if this didn't work, I was done. I was dealing with this pain and back problems for 3 years, and my life was nothing but a big stress. So I was ready to end it all. I gave myself the ultimatum that every single day I was going to do this, and if it didn't get better, if it didn't improve significantly, then I was going to kill myself. I was going to overdose on sleeping pills and drink a bottle of alcohol. That's the ultimatum I told myself. So what happened was, I decided decided to change my environment. I lived in my house with my dad and my stepmom Blondie. And inside the house, I was always getting all kinds of anxiety, and like these thoughts in my head would always come in my head, these negative thoughts whenever I was in that space. You know, she was always yelling at my dad, and my dad wasn't really present. So it's really difficult. So, but the good thing is, there was the shed in the backyard, in my backyard, basically, a little shed. And I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? We don't really use that shed, so why don't I just move inside my shed for the next, 3 to 6 months, just see what happens. So I took all my stuff, all my important stuff at least, my clothes, my TV, my computer, everything, and I stuck it in this shed. I even had this extension cord going from the house out to the shed for an external heater as well, so I could plug that in. I slept in there. I basically stayed in there as much as I could. It was awesome, really good. So this way, I was able to give myself my own space, so that I could clear my head up, give myself my own headspace. And what happened was during this 3-month period, I discovered a band. It was called Linkin Park. And miraculously, what happened was, because there was nobody I could connect with. I had all these thoughts inside my head, and there was nobody that I could relate to. I felt like there was nobody I could talk to. Nobody that understood what I was going through. But there was this band, Linkin Park. And every single lyric that he said, I could relate to. Sorry, I'm kind of choking up. Every single lyric that he said gave me chills. I loved the music. Hybrid Theory. It was so powerful. I would listen to it over and over and over and over again. I played in my car. I played in my room on my little boombox with CD player. Everywhere I'd go in the gym, I would play it in my headphones. I would play it nonstop. It was like therapy to me. It was amazing. And like, these guys knew what I was going through. Sorry. Anyway, so amazing. So, all these emotions I had bottled up inside me, these guys knew it. These guys understood it. These guys were miraculous to me at the time. They came at the exact right time that I needed. Okay, so I was listening to this music. I was doing squats and lunges twice a day, and I was even doing planks. And then I discovered something else, journaling. Because I had all these thoughts inside my head that would just drove me crazy. Like, you're not good enough. And what are you thinking? And you're so stupid. And all these thoughts. And the crazy thing is the voice sounded like Blondie. I would hear Blondie's voice inside my head telling me all these things. It was horrible. Anyway, I would journal all my thoughts, write down every single thing. Basically, my handwriting was so horrible and I could barely write at all, but I would scribble in my journal basically whatever I was thinking. And I would write pages and pages and pages nonstop and I did this for 3 months as well. And then I learned something called meditation. Because I was doing all the proactive research, and meditation I learned that it was basically sitting in silence and just being with your thoughts and then doing your best to let them go. Let them center your mind and then let them go. And I would just sit as still as I possibly could, just to not have any, try my best to not have any distractions. And so after 3 months, actually after about 1 month, I began to see my back improving my back wasn't shaking nearly as much because the muscles I had built up from doing squats and lunges in my lower back, the muscles in my lower back were strengthening. It was incredible. And I began to walk straight again. After 3 years of walking with a limp and pain, my back was finally getting better. So I was like, oh my God, I was amazed. And so I continued to do this for the next 3 months, and then it turned into 6 months. I was doing this every single day, twice a day. And miraculously, I was walking straight, pain-free. My horrible thoughts inside my head had almost disappeared, were almost gone. It was really a miracle, and most importantly, I'm still here. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you watching this video to the end. I know it's kind of long. All right.